Welcome back to the Araxi Longtable Summer Series at North Arm Farm in Pemberton. I'm your Sea to Sky host, Nicole Fitzgerald, and you're watching The Express. The sound of wind and birds in the trees really adds to the charm of the place. And our volunteers are ensuring our songbirds will continue to sing their sweet melodies.
This is a red-winged blackbird, tail 75.
Ouch.
The Vancouver Avian Research Centre is committed to wild bird conservation.
Wing chord is 98.
Based in Colony Farm Regional Park, volunteers carefully capture, measure, record, and release wild birds under the supervision of Derek Matthews.
Bird welfare and safety really is our top priority for each and every bird at all times. So birds are retained harmlessly in the mist nets. We conduct our net rounds very strictly, timed every 30 minutes. Each bird is extracted very gently, placed into a soft cloth bag, taken back to our banding station for processing. That entire process probably takes between 90 seconds and 2 minutes, and each bird is released unharmed.
Cord 116.
Assisting with the measuring, weighing, and bird banding is a dedicated team of volunteers.
It's a great opportunity to get outside, and if you have an interest in birds or just in general animals, it's a great exposure. There's nowhere else you can get hands-on experience, and it, you know, if you're in the field or if you're not, it's just great to have people that are bird enthusiasts out. One for fat.
The data gathered by VARC is shared with policymakers at all levels to ensure the preservation of migratory and local bird habitat.
Tail is 70. Vancouver's parks are critically important to both breeding and migratory birds, and none more so than Colony Farm, which consists in part of this old field habitat, which is unique in the Lower Mainland. So Colony Farm is a very important area, both for breeding birds and as a stopover for migratory birds that are heading further north, many of them going up to Canada's boreal forest to nest there before returning again to their Central American and South American winter grounds. This is an AHY female.
The old field habitat brings in a lot of different species of birds, sort of like a funnel from the housing, and you just see some really interesting things, and it's just a good birding spot in the Lower Mainland. It's number 67. 0 fat.
And a visit to VARC presents a unique opportunity to get close to wild birds.
No one who visits the banding station, as you've done this morning, and holds and releases a hummingbird, can fail to be totally captivated by this tiny bird, which weighs 3 grams, little more than a Canadian penny. And these dynamic little birds breed as far north as Alaska and overwinter in Mexico. So really, it's that whole thing of educating and raising awareness of the environmental issues that we're all facing on the planet.
In Coquitlam, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
The Vancouver Avian Research Centre is always looking for volunteers, as is our next group. Whistler is a mountain biking town. 1 in 10 Whistler residents belong to this group. So what better way to get to know your community than spending some fat tire time with WORCA? Everyone has a different reason for riding with the Whistler Off-Road Cycling Association, better known as WORCA.
When I was a single parent and had 2 daughters, and they participated in a lot of different sporting activities, and as a single parent I couldn't help with the coaching or anything like that. I always resolved that when they had left the home that I would pay back into the sport that I'd taken out as a parent earlier on.
An avid BC Cup Race Series competitor, Craig McKenzie decided to pay back into the sport of mountain biking as a WORCA director. 1 in 10 Whistlerites belong to this non-profit organization of 1,600 members.
WORCA's mandate is to promote mountain biking within the Whistler community.
And WORCA does so through full-time trail maintenance and community programming, such as tonight's infamous weekly Toonie Ride.
A long time ago, a group of friends they got together on a weekly basis. They threw a loonie into a tin, and the person that got back first got all the loonies. And then now it's a toonie just because of inflation.
Okay, Luke, so we're going to start
Every Thursday night, a toonie buys 200 to 300 riders a race, a beer, and a bite. But this weekend warrior from Seattle is realizing there are even greater fat tire perks to this $2 adventure.
I like riding the Toonies because it's a kind of a community thing. So it's been a good way for me to plug into the community. And I'm here with my best friend, and our sons are best friends. So the four of us are doing it together tonight for the very first time. So it's kind of a big occasion for us.
Newcomers find community. Others discover an introduction to the sport itself. Newbie rider Lisa Noyen eases into WORCA's single track as a volunteer.
I'm new to Whistler, so I decided to come see how the races go. I'm a little timid just because I'm scared of falling and hurting myself, but it looks amazing and everybody's super nice and excited to teach me, which is great.
Jesse Melamed held on to his first place finish from the previous week, despite placing top 10 in the pro category at the Crankworks Enduro and competing nationally in Canmore earlier this summer. Tonight's Toonie victory is a significant one.
I took another win, which is pretty special because I've been doing Looney races for 13 years now, since I was 6 years old. If I didn't have WORCA, I don't know if I would have been racing. Looney races get you in. It's a perfect, stepping stone.
A perfect stepping stone in so many ways for so many riders. Pedal to the people. WORCA is at the forefront of it all. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for The Express. Don't miss out on the WORCA Halloween ride. Wear a costume and don't forget to dress up your bike. Veggies are getting the fine dining treatment here at North Arm Farm. Raspberries have never been rosier. Stay tuned, we have more tastier moments coming your way. After the break, a mix of 4 wine directors results in one fine vintage. What was it like, this whole experience of getting to make your own blend of wine?
So if I was an astronaut, I was out in space looking at a star, they would not twinkle.
No, they don't twinkle at all.
And what makes a star twinkle?
As you can see, it's blinking there, it's pulsing a little bit.
Welcome back to The Express on Shaw TV. I'm your Sea to Sky host, Nicole Fitzgerald. The Araxi Longtable Series is new this year, as is this next adventure. Top Table's 4 directors have created and launched a new private wine label.
The Director's Blend was an inspiration from both the owner, Jack Evernsell, and also the 4 wine directors that we have working for us. And they all have amazing and very individual palates. But this was another method for the restaurant to show its capabilities and its depth.
So what are we going to be tasting today?
Well, we're going to start with our Director's Blend Red. This is our inaugural release of the Director's Blend. We wanted something approachable but with enough body, something that was going to be really representative of BC and also of ourselves.
Cheers. That is beautiful.
So plums, cassis, dark berries, and then lifted aromatics, again with the Syrah component added in there, and a little bit of really good Cabernet Franc.
Sam's palate is very developed. She has definitely brought sophistication to the wine, and she's always focused, and she has personal wine favorites, mostly from Germany and Austria, and that has come through in the wine.
Now, it says on the label that this is perfect for summer sipping, that it's going to be refreshing and elegant. What was it like, this whole experience of getting to make your own blend of wine?
We had great raw materials of wine to work with from David at Laughingstock and his assistant winemaker Jonas. So we ended up coming in like a high-end consultant, like a Michelle Roland, to come in, choose the best of what they had to offer, and do a special assemblage, do our blend to create exactly the type of wine that we were looking for.
The Director's Blend is available at top table restaurants, including Araxi in Whistler, Blue Water, West and Chin Chin in Vancouver. From exploring the earth to venturing into the sky. As the song goes, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Well, the H.R. MacMillan Space Center has our answer.
And here we are with Raminder, who is going to dash all of our hopes and dreams for ever seeing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star again. Now, the idea is that stars naturally don't twinkle. What causes the twinkle?
So the twinkling, astronomers call the term scintillation. It's due to our atmosphere distorting the starlight as starlight enters our atmosphere.
So if I was an astronaut, I was out in space looking at a star, they would not twinkle?
No, they don't twinkle at all.
They would appear like
crisp points of light.
Okay. So is there anything we can do about the twinkling effect? Could we remove our atmosphere? That would be kind of difficult.
We can't remove our atmosphere, but there are new techniques astronomers are pioneering which are able to counteract our atmosphere, and we're able to get images which have better resolution than even in space.
Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to show here is show the twinkling effect, and very, very simple. I've got a kettle that we're going to flip on, and it's going to produce some steam, which is just...
So the steam here is to, say, demonstrate atmospheric currents.
This is starting to twinkle. I have a laser here, and we're going to shoot this across through this steam. As you can see, it's blinking there. It's pulsing a little bit. It's not a consistent light. It actually has some movement and pulses to it, right?
The work around this is called adaptive optics, and what it does is it turns this blinking and pulsating light into something a lot steadier. Here we have the Gemini telescope demonstrating its adaptive optics system. So the way the telescope works is it's got a large laser built on it, and the laser travels into our atmosphere to a height of 90 kilometers. The sodium is excited by the laser, and for astronomers, if you're looking from the ground up, you can see a fake star in the sky. So this fake laser guide star is created by the telescope, and the light comes in, hits the primary, then off the secondary, and then it bounces through a hole in the primary mirror into its instrument's bay. So light comes in, bounces off a selection of mirrors, off this special type of mirror here, and here's something interesting. It's called a beam splitter. Most of the light comes down this way into the camera, and the camera images onto the computer screen of what the telescope is seeing. In this case, it's a very distorted image of a star. So this close-up is showing the type of light that's coming in. Notice that it's very wrinkly shaped. And this special instrument over here, it's called a wavefront sensor. The wavefront sensor detects the distortions of light, and it sends a relay loop to a deformable mirror. Now this mirror changes in accordance to the type of light, the shape of the light waves that are coming in, and it causes them to go and become parallel. That way, when the telescope images them, so the camera images the light, you see a nice steady star.
Excellent. And using this technology, it means we're getting crisper and better images of stars from these Earth-based observatories. Before, Hubble Space Telescope would give us those, but now we're being able to get them from some of the ground-based ones, which is really cool. Yeah. From the H.R. MacMillan Space Center, I'm Cam Cronin for The Express.
I'm Raminder Samra.
And that is two ways of looking at a nursery rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, great for the kids, not so good for the astronomers, but using a little bit of technology, we can happily get both out at the end of the day.
Have you ever wanted to name a star? Well, you can dedicate a star to a friend or family member through the Space Center. Just visit their website for details. The star of today's show is definitely the farm-to-fork relationship, and it's being showcased at Cornucopia. The Express Spotlight has more. Travel around the world via your taste buds at the Big Guns Winemaker Dinner. The world's top wine regions will be showcased alongside an 8-course menu, celebrating Araxi's 30th anniversary. Get up close and scribbling with North America's finest writers at workshops, readings, and discussions. Gritty guest authors include award winners Wayne Johnson, Sarah Selecki, and Miriam Toes. Celebrate our rivers and oceans. The Squamish River Watershed Society welcomes the public to learn about the amazing area in which they live. family activities, presentations, and more. Truly a showcase of Mother Nature at its fine dining finest. And that wraps up this week's show at the Araxi Longtable Summer Series at North Arm Farm in Pemberton. If you'd like to see more of our stories, visit shawtv.com. So from all of us on The Express, thanks for watching, and we'll leave you with a look at Ariosa.